Hello and well met. Welcome to the pre-game hangout of Villains Wanted. Uh, we are going to go live with the game in about half an hour, but until then, we're just going to hang out here and vibe. I think there was some discussion about this will they, won't they thing and what your strategy is going to be since there's still a bet going. And
Yep.
yeah, I'm the subject of the bet, so I'm not really involved. So
Well, Eric's missing a key piece of the info. There's a bet involved, but one of the players who's half of this, will they, won't be here tonight. So how are we going to keep it going is the question. We got some ideas.
I
Eric, I'm less
mean,
concerned about you being here than Yang Yang. I feel like.
it won't be resolved tonight, right?
I mean,
Yeah.
it's up to you, I guess, right? If you really steal your will and resolve here, and you could go one way or the other. We'll find out.
Anyway,
I mean, there's no better time to confess your feelings than when that person's not there. To find out how you truly feel.
That's right.
Yeah.
Cue the Disney music, cue the backup singers, and cue Nicholas's solo.
I could just animate a zombie, name it apathy, or more accurately, name it Zapathy, and then practice my speech. I could do that.
I feel like
That wouldn't be weird, would it?
I feel like it's just as weird as in those movie situations where I see somebody like talking to who they think is the other person, but it's actually like their shadow or something through a tent wall, and like it's somebody else just pretending to be, that person. Just as believable.
I really like the idea that he needs to practice telling someone how he really feels, and that it would be with the two of us, because what better companions than a warforged and a platypus to really talk to you about, love,
feelings. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. The Warforged is like, listen, just craft love, build it together.
Yeah.
And the platypus is like, love is an egg that I lay. Although I'm not like my species, I'm a mammal, and that's kind of like crazy, but I do it anyway. And then
like love.
There we go.
Yeah, Tusher's less about like emotions and probably more about like nutrition. So you got to make sure that you're eating the right diet to be wooing somebody.
Maybe.
What is that diet? let's walk away from this and let's stay there for just a second.
What's the courtship diet?
Yeah, what is the courtship diet?
Well, I think it needs to be something that gives you a high amount of energy without like burning you out or making you too skittish, because you always want to put your best foot forward when you're going on these dates or these meet cutes. So maybe it involve like a good amount of So in real life, I don't know as much about nutrition, but Tusher knows a lot.
I could see like a nice hearty salad, right? Like a filling salad though. Not like you've got some accoutrement to it, you feeling good with it, yeah. Because then it's not bogging you down, it gives you energy, keeps you going.
Yeah. Original Angston also suggests no garlic or beans. You got to make sure to stay away from certain foods too. It's very true.
Yep.
And
but
oh, go ahead, Roz.
I was gonna say it's like the trail mix of love.
I was gonna say chocolate covered strawberries, obviously, but
I mean, those are
there are only so many of those you can eat, right?
I mean, those are foods that I would provide to the other person, not just necessarily to myself. Like you make those into a gift for somebody else. You don't eat all of them, before you see them.
Yeah, that's a good point. Well,
you don't solo strawberry up before your dates?
Yeah, maybe that's a missing ingredient.
Yes. Rump has pointed out if your date eats garlic, they might be trying to set expectations.
True.
Which I thought was good. Like, oh, you're sending a signal here. I see.
Yep. Either they think you're a vampire or
And either way, it's not a good sign.
I mean, garlic is really healthy, so it could just be a sign that they're a very healthy individual. I love garlic.
Yeah.
Right, so you wouldn't want to find someone who doesn't. You got to find out right away, and then you can just be like, nope, move on.
That's right. I think one of
So
my
maybe
friends.
it means they're real comfortable with you.
Yeah, absolutely. One of my friends, that's actually one of her like deal breaker tests, I think, is like she loves durian. So she will keep one in her fridge, especially on like, whatever third date when she actually invites them back to her place. And if they complain about the smell, they're done. They out.
Dang. High standards.
Yep.
I feel like there's a little bit of setting somebody up for failure though, because hot take, I walk into an apartment thinking the best of intentions of this person, and it smells bad. I have to start making a couple of jumps of like logical conclusions to like why it doesn't smell bad unless durian has its very specific smell.
It
Right?
does. It does.
Okay. Yeah.
And also
okay.
to some people it smells good. And also, yeah, like she's just like die hard durian.
Cool move. I cannot. Okay, of us here. So when I eat cilantro, it tastes like soap. Do any of you have the cilantro thing?
I don't know the cilantro thing.
My
I'm
girlfriend
also
does.
cilantro delicious.
Cilantro delicious.
Team
Okay.
cilantro.
I don't especially like cilantro, but it doesn't taste like soap.
I have just like I never take it off of anything. I just have assumed that that is what it tastes like. Like to all of you cilantro delicious people, it just is soapy and you like that taste. And so I've just assumed that when it's a garnish on my food, I'm like, I guess I'm getting soapy cilantro, the
Yeah,
taste
I mean,
that it always has.
sometimes I just drink dish soap because
That's right.
it's just
That's
delicious.
right.
It reminds me of cilantro. Yum yum.
When you're doing dishes, you ever go like, yeah. Then you just keep doing more dishes.
Just give me a hit of that. I don't love cilantro that much. I don't know anybody who likes cilantro that like loves cilantro. Like there's no durian equivalent obsession.
That should be your deal breaker, Yang Yang. You should just throw cilantro at somebody and then be like, "Do you like it or not? We'll see how this shakes out."
Well, then I gotta break up with my current girlfriend because she
Oh,
detests
no!
cilantro. So she just
No!
puts it all in my
No. Just do it for friends. Only for friends.
only friends. Yes.
I think it's
See-
good when your partner dislikes things because then you can share.
Yeah, agreed. More for me.
I feel like we're missing out on some monster building opportunities here with what various creatures are repelled by. We know vampires are repelled by
Ooh.
garlic. What's repelled by cilantro? What's
Jake.
repelled by gluten, right?
Mm.
Man,
Like half the population of Seattle.
Yes.
that's
That's one of my favorite things is well, I don't eat gluten because I just don't feel good eating gluten. And I'm like, yeah, okay. All bodies work differently. It's fine. But like there's a large spectrum in the people who just don't really like how gluten works in their bodies and people in whom gluten is like toxic in their bodies. So yeah.
yeah. Rumpus is saying that the cilantro delicious and soap cilantro people are reacting to different molecules. So now I'm going to throw
Oh,
another
nice.
version of this that kind of blew my mind. I at one point in time was dating somebody and I was like, I don't like cilantro, and she was like, I super like cilantro. And then I was like, what do you think about like tonic water? And she's like, it is not bitter. It is like the equivalent of just regular water to her. And I was like, are you kidding me? The most bitter thing of all time. And I'm seeing Yang Yang nod as if tonic water is not bitter.
It's not bitter, but you know what? Maybe my taste buds are dead and like everything is just fine to me.
I think it's just advanced. Your taste buds are advanced. You're just everything is delicious to you.
Some people are super tasters. When I was working in science, I was partnering on a couple of projects with a food science lab. And so you would have to know in your study if you were having people, and mostly your sense of taste is your sense of smell. It's like 80 to 90% of what you experience as taste is actually from olfactory receptors. But so it's like, how sensitive are you to the smell of something? And then there's also your taste buds. But there's an interesting thing about some people are super tasters, but not always for the same things. And so they're super sensitive to stuff. And so they can really pick out certain flavors. And I've always felt like people who are super sensitive to bitter versus people who like bitter. So, you know, you have a medium response to it. And so for you, it's kind of tasty. But for people who are super tasters of it, it's just overwhelming.
I like this positive spin on my taste buds. I'm here for this. I'm a super taster right here.
Totally.
I mean, that's totally true. Because I remember also once upon a time, my friends and I were gonna have one of these like taster test nights where you order one of those kits off Amazon and they come with like different strips of different flavors, and then you could like lick each of them, and then you sort of like they give you the knowledge to figure out like how sensitive or not sensitive you are to these flavors. But we have not done. This was like pre-pandemic. Is one of the things we were going to do. Then the pandemic hit, and then suddenly
And you didn't want to lick stuff.
yeah, went out that door.
Yeah, I'm worried that the pandemic really hurt like people's desire to lick things. Now that you bring that up, Ross, I feel like that really took a hit from the pandemic.
Yeah, licking is down 30% year over year.
Yeah.
Never
It
recovered.
became less socially acceptable to lick things.
Yeah, big Stamp is freaking out right now. Big Stamp is like, oh my god, what do we do?
Yeah, oh, man. I wonder, like, stamps. Do modern stamps? You don't have to lick any of them, right? I haven't bought a stamp in ages.
They're stickers now.
They're just
Oh,
stickers.
excellent. So why did they not make that transition much earlier? Because we've had the technology for stickers for forever. As long as we've had paste, I'd like to think.
Frequently, we just stick with doing something, like because that's the way we've done it,
The way we've always
You
done
know?
it. Mhm.
and it's not always the best way to do something. It's just human inertia, right? Or perhaps the the licking adhesive technology was cheaper than the sticker adhesive technology, right?
That does make a lot of sense to me. It all comes down to economics in the end.
Rumpus is saying the exact same thing.
Yep. And people like to lick stamps. Like there's just something like fun about the process. I could see if they were like, we're making it all to stickers, and then people before the pandemic would have been like, we revolt, we want our licky stamps back.
Yeah.
Now everyone's like, good call, good call.
Yeah. Did you guys ever think licking stamps like that paste tasted good? Because I've had friends that really like the taste of it.
Uh,
I like envelope paste. Like I think like okay, on the spectrum of like and dislike, I'm on the more positive side of that spectrum. Than negative side of it, I guess.
Yeah, I've had other friends that say the same thing. Like they love licking envelopes. Like I remember when I was younger, I used to like complain before I licked my envelope, and they're like, "No, give me here. This is like a treat."
I have poll for all of you. Recently, it came to my attention that I may be licking envelopes like oddly.
Oh.
Okay, I will try to describe it instead of mime it out for a moment.
this is going to be challenging. Please do.
I could do this. So apparently, a chunk of the population may do a single swipe to lick the envelope closed. Okay. I look more like a cat drinking water. And I've been informed that that's not necessarily the right way to do it. But the other way, the single swipe, I don't know if any of you are single swipe people. That's paper cut central. Like that, what a risk you're taking.
I do the same thing you do, Jake.
Thank you.
You're not that strange.
Okay, good.
I mean, you are strange, but not that strange. Not unique.
Thank God.
Because
I'm a
the
s-
last
I'm a
thing you
s-
want is a paper cut on your tongue, man. That's the worst.
That's a nightmare. Roz.
No, I'm a swiper, but you got to do the edges twice because you got to get the corners.
Mm.
Mhm.
Oh,
Yep.
2 risks of paper cut.
That's insane. Yeah, actually, now that you say that, Eric, that's crazy, Roz. That's so risky.
Maybe you just have a really tough tongue, like you're like
Maybe
there's just some scar tissue there, and you just can't cut it.
Oh.
it's from all the stamps.
Ah,
If Roz ever sticks her tongue out at you, it's just like heavily scarred all across the
Yeah.
surface.
You can like see permanent inking, like a tattoo that says 1 cent on it, and it's just like on your tongue.
You know when you have one of those times where you've got like a pile of like you're doing thank you cards or you're doing like Christmas stuff or something where you've decided that you're going crazy that year and you've got the giant pile.
Mhm.
So you're just like, wow. I find that the flavor starts to get not that we do this anymore because it's stickers, but it used to be that you could start to kind of get numb to it.
Mhm. Yep.
Because it's such a like glue. But I guess were you the kind of kids who like glue smell?
not especially.
Maybe.
Did
Like not
you lick it
especially
like a cat.
I like not Elmer's. I like like Gorilla Glue, like super glue smell, like the
Oh.
really chemically stuff. The more I talk about this, the more I'm worried.
Have you ever used a sponge to seal an envelope,
I've heard about this.
where you just dip it in water and then you just whoop whoop? And I find that it's only so effective.
I
half-
think
Half the envelopes I try and seal just end up coming open again.
it's lawful evil version of of enveloping.
Yeah, probably. Probably.
Do you feel okay? Staying on this topic for a second longer. Do you feel? I feel a significant amount of panic when I do my licking to seal the envelope, and then it does not successfully seal. Panic quickly ensues because there does come a point where that envelope will fail, right? And it's
True.
like it freaks me out. I do not want that envelope wet. That's I guess what I'm like very scared of that.
That's what you're supposed to use tape for when it gets to that stage of it, and you just start to like scotch tape them all.
Yep.
I just
Yep.
do both.
I
Lick
just
and tape.
I throw the envelope into another envelope and then try again.
Nice. That feels like the chaotic, neutral way.
Nesting envelopes. Eventually, you
failed
have
more
one
than
of
once,
those
though.
like 8.5 by 11 envelopes, and you just
Eventually, you get mail from Yang Yang, and it's just a box that's just full of
Full of my
Inception
failures.
envelopes.
the mistake is
shame.
always putting the stamp on before you have everything ready, because then you're under so much pressure to write the address correctly and not screw up closing the
Oh my
envelope.
God. So this is okay. So I will use another envelope if I mess up sticking it. But if I mess up the address, I do not use another envelope. I just scratch out the part that I messed up and I will write right above it or right below it. I don't know why I have these standards, and I'm really sorry if there are any postal workers out there. I apologize on behalf of all people like me who do that.
Yeah.
What's your writing like? Is it pretty clear though? So it's pretty easy for you to scratch something out and
It all
Right
just looks
there.
like scratch anyways.
That's what I got cooking. I've been in.
Yeah. It's okay. It's okay.
It's okay.
Like handwriting and printing on actual paper with a pen is becoming less and less of a thing.
yeah, it is going the way of the stamp, the licky
Hmm.
stamp.
Yeah.
Remember when they had you write cursive a lot more, and
Mhm.
Mhm.
like, man, writing, but you would have to take, let's say the GRE or no, the ACT or the SAT or some sort of standardized test, and they'd have you write in cursive that paragraph beforehand.
Mhm.
And by the end of it, I remember being like, my hand's exhausted. This was so
Yeah.
hard.
And there was always a heavy implication that you were going to need this for the rest of your life.
Yeah, do kids even learn cursive anymore?
According to
yeah.
Rumpus, no.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
Yeah,
So-
I think that's been kind of phased out.
That's kind of sad though. You know when you get a letter from a grandma type and you're just like, it's so gloriously beautiful and legible, and you're just like, no one knows how to do this anymore. How?
Yeah, I was actually just about to talk about pen pals. Like that's another time that I really like receiving letters or like sending letters is to my pen pal. And now we've shifted to postcards, but we used to actually write real letters to each other. And she wrote in cursive, and I just wrote in my chicken scratch.
Like, I wonder if in modern RPGs, about 10 years from now, cursive will be a language option,
Oh man, ancient
right?
script. Mhm. Yeah, but do you guys ever have pen pals?
Mhm.
Do you guys still have pen pals?
Not really.
Oh, no, I wish. I met when I was in high school, we took a band trip to Disney, like the California Disney. So we were kids from Canada and we played in our band in the park, which was really fun. And then when we were in the park wandering around, I met another group of kids from Japan. So one of them became my pen pal through high school. And so she would send me letters from Japan, all about like what she was up to, what was going on. And what her school and very intense school life was like. And then I would send her letters back from Canada, and we'd like ship each other little like uh, memorabilia type things that we could find, but they would still fit in like envelopes we could put in the mail. It was awesome. And I don't know what Lisa got up to after she went to university.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think I have like a very similar story, and it also ended around university time. Like suddenly we had a lot less or a lot more options, I guess, to do with our free time, and it was like suddenly a lot harder to communicate like this address change, and I kind of miss it though. I still have all the letters in the drawer.
Oh, that's so nice. I with my girlfriend, she was like, I would love to receive a letter at some point in time, and I was like, all right, it's on, right? She was visiting home in Maryland, and so I wrote her just a fully fictional letter from me in Pride and Prejudice speak,
Oh my god!
and it was
I
like,
love it.
Nice.
it was like, dearest Erica,
Mm.
my reputation's at stake. I need your assistance. And then we pen paled for about a year, going back and forth on these letters. So we never talk about them in person with each other, but it was our characters like slowly doing a plot. And at one point in time, like I would burn my letter partially because I got attacked, and have that show up. And at one point, the only time I ever asked her a question, because it was very Bridgerton vibes, like some like levels of like Bridgerton / Pride and Prejudice. And at one point, all the clues she was dropping, I was like, the villain is a werewolf. Like he has to be a werewolf. And so I remember turning to her one night, and I was like, just to check, like, is this guy a werewolf? And she goes, no. And I was like, so you don't know like what lycanthropy is or anything? And she goes, no, I don't know what a lycan is or a lycanthrope. And I was like, sounds good. I'm going to stop that plot line. Because I was like deviating deeper and deeper into it.
Just leading into it.
That is so cute, though.
It's really-
It is. That's amazing.
Awesome.
I highly
like-
recommend it.
I don't think I could get my girlfriend to do something like that. I wish.
Well, we're doing it. We just started up again, but we're doing fan fiction letters of the OC, the old 90s / aughts TV show,
my
right?
God.
So, but it's
I
just
remember
like
that.
fun because you just pick a genre, and if you go hard enough, it's just funny.
I can totally see that. It's been a long time since I've received like a letter and not just like a bill or commercial.
Hey,
I'd love to
all
get
right,
another.
we'll chat later for your address.
I want
You
the
guys
Pride
can start
and
the
Prejudice
werewolf thing back
Yeah.
up again. Exactly.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I would love
That
to.
LARP.
We could do with a bunch of us, and then it could be like you can turn it eventually into a murder mystery. Where if someone gets murdered, and then you have to like, all the clues are put together.
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'd live for this.
I love chamber mysteries. It's one of my favorite things. So
Wait, what's a chamber mystery?
yeah.
Like a one room mystery?
yeah, like one room. Everybody has to like solve. We can't leave till we solve the murder.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, yeah. That's awesome. But yeah, we do have to take a break. It is 6:26. So we'll be
Right.
back in 4 minutes.
Awesome. See you all later. Don't go away.